Well, hello there, and you are, as always, very welcome to Puzzles and Chill. We're going to get right into it. We are going to be doing a puzzle rush on chess.com, a survival mode, so no time. Our top score is 35, which, in my opinion, nice meaty personal best, and we're going to go for that, try to beat that today. We did have a bit of a damp squib. We tried to do this live one time, and the internet wasn't good enough. Didn't scratch the itch there. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But for this one, feeling good, feeling fresh. Chess has been improving massively. Our rapid chess rating has gone up quite a lot after doing these puzzles. So I'm gonna keep a good thing going. So let's get right into it. First puzzle, white to move. I don't think it's going to be anything more complicated than pawn takes here. Can't take back even because of the rook pinning the king. This one, I see this square is a no-go zone because of the knight, which means that rook in here will be near fatal. That's going to be fatal for the king. But settle in, yeah, we're going for gold here. We generally tend to fly through the first 10-15 puzzles, which is great. Wasn't always in a position to do that. This one is just going to be two rooks here, and if you look at where the king can retreat to, there actually isn't anywhere. That light square on, let me just have a look, C2, that's a no-go zone. That is, the bishop is covering that one off, and then B2 as well, the only other place they could go being covered by the rook on B4. So that's going to be it. But as a whole, been really enjoying our chess over the last couple of weeks, and I think a lot of it is down to this puzzle thing that we're doing here. So dramatic tension in this one here, that if white promotes, they will get a queen, and that queen will actually also come with check. Very crucial thing to check when you are promoting or letting your opponent promote with a view to yourself promoting the next turn. Promoting with check is a devastating swing of events. Huge addition of material, huge addition of initiative. So always be conscious of that. If it's a race between you and your opponent, who's going to promote first, if you are going to promote maybe the move after they promote, but you promote with check, then it can sometimes be okay to let them have that queen or extra piece, because you will be in the driving seat if you have enough checks to see it out from there. In this one, the reason I pointed out is just, again, it lets us know that we need to be very initiative focused here. So I think it's going to be knight in here to get the king off of this square. Pawn also pretty crucially came with check there, would force the king onto the c file. Then we could then promote in peace. Next one up here, hugely advanced white king. It was a very strange game. You know, still a decent amount of pawn material. Is an endgame, of course, but yeah, this king has gone absolutely walkies to get right up here on d6. And oftentimes that's punishable. They're just too deep into the territory to stop our attack. What that attack is going to look like, I think, is going to be rook here, check. King can go here or here. I'm just going to clear the lines here. Rook across here, check. King can come here. No, can't go there. So king will go here. And from there, am I overthinking this one? Definitely don't want to drop a life in the top four. Again, as soon as I start talking smack about the puzzles, they present a tricky tricky maneuver. I think we can just take this knight. Might be the puzzle. Rook down here is dangerous, but we do have the block there. Great. And now in endgame, similar enough pawn material, and we have an extra piece, so she'll be able to mop up there. So this one, I see that this rook is sort of threatening our rook here. Again, this seems like a little higher rating than it might be. I think what's going to happen here is we can take this rook, I guess. Maybe there's something a little stronger here. But if we take this rook, king would have to take. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. There is a way we can reduce down. So I think if we just get rid of these two rooks for these two pieces, which we can do like this, because this is what's going to happen. King and rook, they take like that. We do this, and that's a fork. Now we've got a piece left. Okay, I think they could have moved their king somewhere. Who's to say? Okay, next puzzle. King really doesn't want to be there, I don't think. And I think we can make that even more awkward. Crash through here, bishop takes, king will take the bishop, forcing the king off of this h1 square, and then we can promote there. Blimp, blump, 7 in a row. Okay. I don't know, are they particularly tricky today, or if I'm just not at the races, but struggling is what it is, all is how I'll phrase that. This one, whenever you see a king like this with no advanced squares, no squares in front of it to go to, I kind of do like to just sort of threaten in, kind of like a mole attack. Threaten the king from the safety of its home rank. And for some reason, I feel like the best way to do that is queen in here first. Queen in here first. That's going to threaten mate, either here or here. And then we take the rook. They didn't have any great checks other than that. They saved themselves from a checkmate, but they're way down material. So this one, again, you see queen and king on the same diagonal. Do we have a way to exploit that? We do. Bishop in here is check. That's got to be dealt with first. They can either block with the knight, block with the rook. They won't do either of those things. I imagine they'll just take the bishop for the queen. And then we can just take the queen with check. Way ahead. Again, king and rook on the dark colored squares. We've got a knight on the dark colors, so do a quick scan for some forkable squares. Fork, yes, we got one. And there she blows. So the top 10 done. First 10, I should say. The bottom 10 in many regards. We got through unscathed, but not unshaken, I would say. But there we go. This one, see another fork here with the knight again. Pieces on dark squares, knight in a dark square. Can we get some forkage? Yes, we can. I imagine what will happen is knight fork here. Rook will probably move. Maybe even just take that pawn there. And then we can actually crash through with the rook there. I don't know if we'd want to, but I think it's this to start. Okay. I really love that. That was one of the greatest joys of life. when you figure out the first move of a puzzle, but you're not sure what comes next, and then they just give it to you. They just said, get out of here. School's out. Very, very nice feeling. So, pretty nasty position for both teams. I like, for many reasons, queen taken in here, backed up by the king. It's check. King has just this square to go to, and then rook across. They can do some blocking here, probably blocking there, and we're good to go. So I think it's going to be queen here, and then rook here, blockage. Nice. Okay, we'll keeping her let. So again, very common theme. F pawn's moved. Immediately look for some attacks on the king. Got these gorgeous diagonals. Gorgeous diagonal. One will be opened up by the F pawn moving out, particularly F5. Bit of a harry-carry move there. I think queen up here. Only real block is this. Knight takes here. If they take, we take the rook. I think that's what it's going to be. Very, very common attacking theme is before the king is castled, getting at that rook in the corner by a kingside attack, attacking the F pawn, getting the knight involved, overloaded defenders, so that pawn acts as a defender and a blocker. You make them make a call, you make them choose to be a defender rather than a blocker, then you take advantage. So this one, let's just see what the computer did here. They had the audacity, the neck, to take one of my pawns. Take umbrage with that. I mean, I do like just rook here. Yeah, I like that move. Trying to think of other things we could do. I mean, rook here, rook takes here, we take here. There's two bishops for one. I like it. Oh, nice little check. Very fancy. Let's block, and let's block with tempo, as in we attack back. Do this, and then we're good. Okay. White to move. Very, very troublesome position for the white pieces here. Namely, either of these pawns very much threatening to promote, this rook threatening to take, and we're in real trouble here. Any advice, guys? No, this is a recording. That wouldn't work. But you can feel free to pop your thoughts in the comments at any stage. Pause your video whenever you so choose. Speaking of what we did speak of earlier, we can make a move here because either way they are one more move away from, like, we've one defensive move with this rook. This rook I don't see lasting too long. We've one defensive move left with that rook. So I think if we move here, basically if promotes then we take, and then if they take back then we promote. If they promote again then we take back. If they take with the rook as soon as we move then we promote straight away. And then again, promoting with check I think does give us a lot of initiative. So I do think it's as simple as that. So they did promote, so we take, then we we promote with check, which is there. And they let me away with it. They let me away with it. You absolutely love to see it. I do, anyway. I think that we have an absolutely glorious file here. Check in there. King has to move up here. And I'll show you what happens after that. King tucks up here. Temptation could be to take here, first and foremost. You want to do what's called an in-between move, if that even counts in this particular scenario. You see that this rook is hanging, but you can trade that rook with initiative, by which I mean you take here and you get the check, which again, they've got to deal with that first and foremost. So we do this, and now we can do this, and instead of trading rooks, we're actually up a rook there. So move order, very, very important. Frustratingly important in chess is the order in which you make your specific moves. Alright, next one here. Let's see. Okay. I think a really nice little one. Is that mate in one? I think we've got a mate in one here. So I might stick this up on the Chess Please Instagram, which is a new thing. Chess_please_. Check it out. I'll be posting a puzzle of the day and various chess content up there if you want to smash that follow button. And also, if you've stuck around this long for the puzzles, I'll be posting up some regular chess content on this YouTube channel to help people in the beginners, the post-beginner stage, get to grips with this gorgeous and massively frustrating game. So, enough waffle, enough plugging. Our mate in one, if I'm not direly mistaken, is going to be c3, a pawn mate. You'd love to see it. Is that right? I'm just looking and I can't see where the king can go. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Something very satisfying about getting a checkmate with a pawn. Probably just something to do with just the underdog, even though it doesn't make any sense that it was part of the army. This one, this one I think is going to be, again, a nice use of tempo or initiative. I think bishop here threatens the queen, and that threat will exist. If queen takes, we take with the pawn. We don't necessarily have to defend with the queen here, but we can. What will most likely happen is, again, we just also notice in and amongst this king is back rank mateable. He's in front of his wall of 3 pawns. So I think bishop here will discover this attack on the rook. They have to take there, because if they decide to take the bishop first for whatever reason, then rook in here would have been mate. Same logic applies here. They get the queen out of trouble, but it's that was a good move, actually. They get the queen out of trouble. I think it is still queen in here, but I did not see this bishop back here as a defensive resource, which is part of the beauty of chess. But I think we can still get this bishop. Kind of awkward having the bishop there on the back rank, pinned to the queen. Queen would have to move out of there. which very well may do, but it's a scary one. This one, it looks like again a pretty weak f7 pawn, or at least a heavily pressured f7 pawn, which I think we can fully utilize to the fullest extent. Again, in huge peril here with black's attack, but I think we've got a mating pattern, which is queen sacrifice. I really hope it's this. Queen sack, and then again, just before I make this move, you will notice the rook is now pinned to the king, which means it's no longer a defender of this back rank and cannot be. Queen comes back, and that's mate. Up to 19, again past our first ever personal best, whatever that means, but always important to remember where you came from, so shout out previous Andy for getting 19. This one I think we can win the queen, because again we see our rook is being threatened here. Pretty big pressure around the king area, but their king's no prized peach himself, so I think it's going to be bishop in here, check, would be mate, and will still be mate, but they have one defensive resource, which is take with the queen, and then there's pawn, another mate with a pawn. You'd love to see it. Yeah, nothing for the king to do. Oh, y'all know what time it is. You better believe it. It's the one from the internet. It is a smothered mate pattern. Just this image ingrained in my head. If you've got this exact setup, all of these pieces need to be here for this. But knight out here is a double check. King has to tuck in here. Queen in here is a nice inspired move. King can't take because of the knight. Rook has to take, and then that is a nice smothered mate. Have a quick short on the YouTube channel. That was my first ever brilliant move, was a smothered mate. A gorgeous bit of chess. Very kind of commonplace in terms of always kind of touted as like a beautiful mate, a pretty common one, but that doesn't make it any less enjoyable, to be honest. Now this one is, if I am thinking straight, which no guarantees, I quite like knight in here. It's not a check, but they can't take this with the queen, or they could take it with the knight, but I think we win the queen here, because after knight in here, queen is putting crazy pressure on that pawn. But then why would they care? Why wouldn't they just push? That's a great question. I don't know why they wouldn't just push. This might be one. Sometimes I do these, and when I'm editing the video, I look back and I'm like, A, you called the pieces the wrong name, and B, you were completely on the wrong track. So this might be one of those. Actually, I think we've got something even more diabolical. Don't need to waste time with the knight. Queen in here threatens mate very next move with this square. Probably knight will take there then, just to disarm that a little bit. Knight will take in here, check, also threatening mate. Queen will have to take. Rook takes queen, and we're away. Okay, knight takes with the check. Again, you want to definitely take with the knight first. It's the most forcing way to do it. And we would have won that game. Okay, so what I like is this bishop in there. No, why would I like that? No, it's still the idea, but it's queen takes first. If you do bishop first, queen just takes, and also with initiative of the rook. But if you do queen takes first, gonna gamble on it, not even gonna think it through. I shouldn't do that, but I did. And now we've got a fork, pin, skewer, all sorts of crazy names. It's not a pin, but it's, I think, a skewer. Don't think it's a skewer either. Fork, I guess. It's a double pronged attack on the bishop and the rook. No good way to defend it. And we go from being in serious danger to serious danger of winning that game. Alright. So, again, see a lot of our attacking resources are in pretty good shape to get at this king. But it's sort of, and all their defensive resources are a little bit too far over on the queen side. So I think we would have the gumption or the nous to attack first. What I think is the most forcing is knight in there. And you'll see me use that term, most forcing, and it's probably something I've plagiarized from other people who are much better at chess. But particularly in puzzles, it does kind of have to be forcing. Forcing meaning your opponent has no option but to play in a way that's advantageous to yourself. You do want to kind of do that in the game as well, because chess is really, really hard. It's kind of easier to calculate forcing moves than things where your opponent has like 10 potential responses. There's no way for you to calculate all of that in one go. If you're a mortal, if you're not like a grandmaster or something. So playing forcing chess as much as you can does make things a little bit easier for, again, like if you just don't see like things like checks, it's a lot easier to figure out, okay, what are all the permutations of a check, because there's only a certain amount of ways they can block. Whereas earlier on in the game, more positional stuff, there's too many like spider webs of possibilities to check out. So I think it's going to be check in here. And one of the reasons that's so devastating is this knight will come in here. Excuse. This knight will come in here with check. Yes, this bishop can take, but pretty much any move of the king's. This queen is now going to be able to come in here backed up by this knight, which is just way too uncomfortable for that king. So I think it's going to be this first. And that exactly will happen. There's not going to be a way for them to defend that square for mate. And now even actually in this case, this rook that we mentioned earlier on, or did the line thing earlier on too, again, no way for them to defend that file. I'm gonna take a sip of water, baby. Don't you know it's true? 24, okay. Busted through the teens. Now is when it starts to get a little bit finkier. Sort of sniffing out a mate pattern here, but not 100% sure. Doesn't have to be. Maybe it does need to be a little bit urgent. My initial thoughts were this is check, and king can come. Oopsie. King can come here. King can come here, and that's it. king goes there. King goes either of those squares. We go here. King tucks in here. I'm not so sure that's it, but I'm also even less sure of what else I could do. These rooks, I see some sort of like sandwich maneuver here. Sandwich maneuver? Made that up. Some sort of just like closing in the box. But in terms of checks on the vertical axis, some pretty good defenders here. I see this as the best one. I see it as the best one for us right now. Alright, let's put a pin in that one. Early doors to lose a life. Not quite. This is probably better than some of our personal bests. Let's stay the path. I think this one is going to be bishop here to block, take, check, king tucks in here to take back, and we take the rook. Please be it. Take, blanc. Okay, a little bit better. The Adams family. Again, huge amount of attacking resources. Don't want to neglect this bishop here. No. I mean, I can't like knight in there. I think is the move. Don't see anything else stronger than that. Oh, we're in check. Wonderful. So, responses to this check. That's no good. We also don't want to forget about their bishop here. Oh, actually, that's fine. So that does get a little bit better. This bishop back here to block. King here is no good. King here is no good because of this, I think. I don't think that's much use to us. But I do... Too many arrows. I think back here would be of use to us. I don't think there's a secondary check. Like queen can't get to this square for a diagonal check. If they come to the back rank for a check, the rook will mop up. Don't want to go here because queen can reach there for some counter play. Oof. Could be a short video today. Could be a short video today. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Maybe we were just on an absolute hot streak when we got those first few 30 somethings. But hey, what is life without darkness? So this one, best I can kind of see is winning a bit of material. Nothing crazy, no like mate pattern here. I see queen take pretty much forces the trade. Then no, that's not right. That's not right because I was gonna go here. And then I was was thinking the rook would take, but this pawn still exists. However, ooh, 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 ooh. Not 100% sure, but I do like knight here first. Because knight here, they're either going to take or whatever. Basically, whatever they do, apart from a king move. And a king move would be disastrous because this is the only square they can go to, and then we would have a discovered check. A number of different things that we could do, and also just take the queen. So I think knight in here, they'll take here, then we zoom the bishop up here, pinning the queen to the king, and that'll be it. Back in business. Back in business. Now we do need 10 more puzzles on the bounce. No mistakes. We've done it before. We did it twice here. But it might take a while. Queen up here. Check. Blocked or blocked or avoided. Not especially good. Yeah, tricky one. Tricky Richard Nicky. Don't want to just give a check for the sake, but this also just loses any of the initiative we might have had. Other checks are here. Here. Rangy check. Could block there. Block with the bishop. I don't want to just win this pawn though. Also see a way we could win this rook if we just do this. King takes, we come back here with check, then we can take the rook, but that's just trading rooks. Do see rook take here. It's very hard to stay in the saddle of things when you feel it slipping from you, when you feel it just getting out of your grasp. But that's no excuse. You gotta dig in. Christopher Diggins. This, then that. Answers on a postcard at home if you can see what's going on here. Because I'm at a loss, I'll be honest with you. That's actually could be worse, because takes here. Queen will have to do something. If it crashes through here, then we win the bishop. Basically, whatever the queen does, we can manage, and then we can just take that bishop. Get in. Dug in the heels. Stubborn, we might call it. Another one. So, what do we have here? What do we have to play with? We've got a king. Who's in pretty good shape, pretty exposed. And we've got a queen very deep in enemy territoire right here. Black's pieces are not too poorly coordinated themselves, I might say. So I think we need to go for the juggy. Could win this knight for a pawn by doing this. That would be queen take, pawn take check. Anything more spectacular? Queen in here. Almost forced. Not quite forced, but pretty much forced to take with the queen. Take back with check. King can't come here. King will probably take or retreat. In either case, we can take the knight there. Don't know if that's good enough for a puzzle. Generally, they're probably asking for a little bit more, but we'll go with this. This is check. So is this. Ooh. Smokey Robinson. White to move. I like, so again, just a kind of a getting to the end game, basically seeing which your pawns can promote fastest. I think it's going to be this guy. In order to stop rook take check and also covering this back, we want to take this rook with our king. Before that though, we got to remove the defender, which is the bishop. So rook removes the bishop as a defender. Check. Crucially, pretty crucially check. Either takes here or moves king. Either way, that's fine. Then we take the rook. Pawn probably takes the knight, but there's still not going to be enough time for them to get home. So takes. We don't even have to take back right away because we are actually in a bit of a hurry here, because of that. So just straight away promote. Nice. Whew, okay, so from the very depths of despair, we have clawed our way back, but each puzzle brings a new challenge. And one such challenge is this one. I do enjoy this. rook to e7. Threatens mate on 2 squares, which is really nice, namely here and here. So queen could take here, queen could go there, which means there's 2 things for them to defend. They do have some checks. I don't know if they have enough checks. They would do this. I could come back here. Then the only other checks they would have would be queen here, which would result in queen taking here, or they would also have bishop here, but rook could take there. That's my harebrained scheme. Okay. Rook takes, the threat remains, queen takes. Everything we said was going to happen happened. That doesn't often happen in chess. White to move. It's another race. So this fella's 2 moves from home. Very tempted to take here. But if we do, then blimp. And if blimp, blorp, blimp, scrants, they would have a move in between. Okay, no. So I think it is. I think it's take here. They're going to go there. We're going to go here. They're going to promote. We're going to do this. They don't have any more checks that don't lose the queen. They could theoretically come back here. Whatever they try to do to get this pawn, who is now here, we have knight, which is check and protecting there. I think that's it. So it was this, still this, then this, then this, because our knight is actually pinned, which probably drew attention to myself when I mentioned that they had no checks because the knight was there. That's okay, because we still know that if we promote here, that's a fork. And now we've got a minor piece and some others to help this show stay on the road. Huge danger in black's position here. This might just be a defensive one. Can't take here because this is going to be mate. This is mate. There's a lot of trouble a brewing here. Bringing this across, that'll be mate. This is going to be a great escape of sorts. Somehow. Might just have to be purely defensive. I do see a nice back rank here, but this might just be a defensive one. There might just be too many threats coming through. It's not this, because then this is made. I like queen back here. I do like queen back there. But it's last gasp stuff, it really is. That's okay. That is okay. Alright, not too bad. 31 into the 30s, so getting flirty for 30. Let's have a quick look over the ones we went wrong on. Two of these probably earlier than I wanted to go down on. So this one, I think we made a bonehead move there. Really wasn't 100% sure on what to do in general. Was conscious of this. I'm gonna get a hint. There's no harm in asking for a favor when you've been bested. So it was a rook move. Okay. Yeah, we just have enough. We have enough pressure on this square. King's not going anywhere here. And then discover check. There might be something matey we can do, but I just want to take the queen. Cool. That was good. I'm glad I learned that. I threw away the possibility of a rook move too early. I just thought they had enough back there, but again, you just count the pieces. Oh, we had 3, they had 2, and we were okay. This one, oh, play puzzle. So we're in check to start with. We did this, which wasn't great. We were also flirting with the idea of this move. Which we should have made. I still like, I know that they still just don't have any checks remaining. This potentially. Okay, that was that one. So we again flirted with the right idea of dropping the bishop back here, even after rook comes and takes here. It looks pretty good for black, but I'm not 100% sure on how it wraps up. And our last one of the day. It's amazing how little you recognise them until that very last move. So I just am unsure. I just see so much damage coming through. That doesn't do anything for our chances. They just take with the king. We don't have a dark square bishop, so I'm gonna rule that one out. There is just huge need to. So basically, anything that we do needs to be able to. Okay, so it was a queen move. Maybe this. That's okay. I just want to test something out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I knew it. We all knew it. There's no point getting shirty with it. But what kind of protection is this queen gonna get us? We're guessing now. I know we're guessing. Where could this queen possibly go? How is it a queen move? Again, this might be one in the old editing chamber that the queen move. It's not here. It's not here. Surely it's not there. No. Here. We're literally brute forcing this, which is what you should not do. Here? Why did they do that? How is... Okay, I see. Because that actually isn't... We could have caught that. We could have caught that. So obsessed with stopping this because bishop takes in... Oops. Blah, blah, blah. Bishop takes in here. Where are we? Bishop takes in here. Then rook down here would have been made the very next move. But bishop taken here isn't check. It's not forcing. So we needed to start to think about how to make our next move forcing. This didn't even get that one right. Let's just take the bishop. Tricky one, but I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed that puzzle rush. I know it wasn't our best, but they can't all be superstars. And this is just going to be one for the library. A few instructive moments in there. So thank you very much for watching. If you have stuck around this much, and you're interested in seeing more chess content like this, puzzles, we're going to do some openings, and some general just game day live games as I try to work my way up the ladder. Feel free to subscribe and stick around, if that's your kind of thing. But if not, thank you very much for being here, and all the very best. Bonsoir.